Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have something a little bit different, not really a review of some sorts regarding specs and blah blah blah. This is more like what is best for your photography needs. I got three cameras here. I have the a7R3, I have the Sony a7c, and the old ZV1. I wouldn't say old, but the ZV1. These are my current three cameras, but I'm only going to keep probably one or two of them. And this is kind of how I'm running through my thought process of which ones to keep, why I want to keep them, what works for me. Maybe it works for you. Maybe you're in the same boat. You're on YouTube and you're just searching around for all different styles of reviews on the a7c, maybe the a7R3. We're both in probably the same price range used. And then should I just get the ZV1 and be done with it? Well, let me go through my ideas, how I shoot, and what I'm thinking. So let's get started. Okay, right now I am filming on the DJI Pocket with the wireless remote, so it's very convenient. I've never tried this before. Hopefully it comes out sort of good, but that's what I'm filming on right now. All right, so I've had the a7R3 for a while now. I had the a7 III. I wanted a little more resolution, so I got the R3. Then later on I got the ZV1, and we'll talk about that one later. Just a couple of weeks ago, I picked up the a7c used off of B&H with the kit lens, this little guy here, for the same price as just the body new. So around $1,700, no tax, all that good jazz. My thought process of, all right, I'm gonna pick it up. If it doesn't work out, I'll sell it during Christmas time when maybe things are a little bit hard to find. I get most of my money back at that point if I don't like it, but that was my thought process. Why the a7c? Well, I love this camera. I love the images it takes. I use this mainly for my daughter's soccer. So I am more of a hobbyist. A little bit of YouTube stuff you see here, but the only thing like professional, I do quotes, is take pictures of my kids' soccer team. I take the team picture, I take pictures along the way, I kind of post them up for them to see at the end of the year, all for free, just for fun. It's more about me getting practice than anything else and learning the craft. I'm not going to charge someone for something like that until I get good. Right now, it's all about training. Okay, so I got this for a couple different reasons. I am a cropper. I crop into my photos a lot. I zoom in. I mean, I have a 70-200 lens f4 that I use, and I use that many just for soccer. That's why I'd use move for most, because to get the distance and the range. With this guy here, I can also crop in using the crop mode on this camera and go from I think it's a roughly 48 megapixel down to an 18 megapixel shot. 24 to 10. So 18 to 10 difference there. Now when I go back and I pixel peep, and I'll show you some pictures here that I just took around the house of pixel peeping. I did a whole separate review a long time ago that I'll kind of put up here that talked about the R3 and the 3 and looking at the image quality. I had to zoom in all the way to the photo, looking at something very, very small, just to see the difference between that 48 megapixel and that 24. It was there. It serves a purpose and is there. For my type of unprofessional work, not really needed, as I've come to find out. So what happens, I don't take this out much, unless I'm definitely going to take photography and I want the best image possible. I don't care how much room it takes in my bag, I'm taking it with me. And as you see from my last video when I went to Disney, I took the GoPro, the Pocket, and the ZV1 with me. And I use the ZV1 as my main photography camera to get the best shots I can get, right? What has happened is this guy has led me to neglect this guy.
You forgot me too.
Yeah, but I'm just your uncle. He's your father.
My own father.
Thanks, Charlie. Is there any way I can make it up to you? You want to go out for a special dinner?
No.
I use this way too much for video and for pictures that I said it wasn't worth taking all this stuff with me. Just use the small stuff and call it a day. Well, what a waste. I had the 55. I have the 20 miller. This is the 85 right now. I have the Tamron with a 28 to 70, and I have the 70 to 200 or f4 Sony lens. Lots of money, very expensive lenses, and why am I not using them? That was the issue for me. I'm not using my gear. I'm getting lazy with this, relying on convenience. Even what the ZV1 and all great it can do, it just cannot really compare to a beautiful full frame image. And that's what I need to get back to. And I appreciate these pictures more than I do these. So as you peruse through all your pictures on your phone or your computer, these I will skim by and go, oh, good picture. But if I have a great one from this, those are the ones I tend to produce in a book at the end of the year for my wife of some of the photos from the kids throughout the year. So I'm missing the full frame and I'm not taking this camera out enough. So I'm thinking it is time to sell this guy and move on to something else. And then here comes along the a7c. It's been out over a year. This is my first time really looking at it. When I first came out, I was like, why would someone buy that? And then as you've seen more of the reviews and how well it does, I was more interested. What this basically is for me is taking these two cameras right here and combining it to this guy. So I'm getting the compact nature of, I mean, not the full compact. I am losing something here and there in both, but I'm one up benefiting and using one main camera, a full frame image, great video, kind of like the best of both worlds between these two cameras, and there I go. So one thing also just for me, maybe you have one of these also too, is let me go ahead and put on the kit lens. This is why I got this lens, right? I'll talk about this in a second. So there you go. There's the difference between the main two, right? There's a difference, of course, but I can fit this in a small camera bag like this, no problem. Whoa! And it's lighter. I mean, you do feel the difference between these two bodies, definitely. I pick them up and I'm like, yes, definitely much lighter. For video, YouTube, product review stuff, this is hard to beat. ND filter built inside, awesome to have, right? Do I get rid of this guy? I think I could make a huge argument to keep it, but I've got to minimize my gear because as long as I keep this hanging around, I will use this even less. I will find a reason, say, hey, I gotta take this lens, maybe I wanna take that lens. I'll just take this guy and be done with it. Don't wanna do that anymore. That's just me. I like to have the gear I have, I want to be using all the time to get the most out of it. So Christmas time is coming. I think this is gonna be a very hot item on Christmas time. So again, this is gonna get sold at Christmas time. Will I miss it? Probably so, I always do. Now, why did I get this kit lens if you're interested in the camera? You could argue the money, and you could argue the resale, and then it's the quality of what the lens can produce. Happy all day long outside taking pictures with this lens. Beautiful, right? I have no issues at all. Go watch reviews on this lens only if you're interested in that. My other argument, you can turn around on eBay and sell it for like $250, $260, or whatever it's going for right now, easy. If you don't like it, sell it. Make some money off of it, pocket that, and buy something else. To me, it's a no-brainer. When you get this camera, you get this lens. Because there's times when you just want to take a small camera and go and not grab the Tamron or something else that's big and go, oh, here I go with a big camera again. You grab this lens, you throw it on, you go, and you have a compact camera and you have a full frame. So you're not compromising anything. That is why I am in favor of this camera. Now, the one that scares me is the one about to come out in a month or two, the a7 IV with the 30-something megapixel image. Maybe hopefully it has a flip screen. Maybe it's got the new menu system. That could totally turn me around, and I could buy that one, and which defeats the entire purpose of this. It's going to look just like this, but that camera is going to be hard to find, hard to grab onto, and will be a while before I can get my hands on it, at least, unless I'm lucky and get it off B&H really quick. Last but not least, another exciting thing that I found was I have the Crane M2, right? Yeah, the Crane M2. I had this for gimbal for a while. I love this gimbal. It's nice and small, easy to use, etc., etc. I use it for the ZV1. This works on this easily. Obviously, with the kit lens, it works fine. I tried the 20 and the 55, and they work, except the 20, you're getting a little bit heavier, and you can't do too much besides get a walking shot, nice and smooth. Nothing real fancy. It's getting too close to the weight this thing can handle. The kit lens all day long is pretty easy, but I can still use the gimbal. So I got this guy for the RX 100 series, but I love, again, when other things work with other things. So this camera can work with that. Now I have a full frame camera with a gimbal to use when I want to take extremely cool cinematic shots. Whew! Well, there you go, guys. Not really a review of sorts, more of a talking point of what cameras to buy, how you use them. Again, if you have a total different setup, if you're doing professional photography and you need to have 2 SD card slots, all that kind of jazz, this is not for you. But if you're the dad guy that likes to take pictures with their kids, go on vacation, good shots, fool around with photography, getting good images, then this might be a thing that you want to think about getting if you want to keep it nice and small. I think I rambled on too long. Oh, I did get this guy for the sunny conditions outside. It works okay. It kind of pokes you in the eyeball here. It sticks out pretty far. It's all right for the meantime, but yeah, without a doubt, this is much easier to take photos with, and it's got a better screen and all that kind of stuff. But I go back to my arguments before. You got to give some things up for other things. All right, you guys have a good one. Like, subscribe down below, smash it, hit it, do all that kind of jazz. I need the subscribers. I watch them every day. When one goes up, I get pretty excited. So make my day and subscribe. Have a good one.